Mass Effect Andromeda is the fourth game in the Mass Effect franchise, set 600 years after the events of the original trilogy and in a completely new galaxy. Andromeda was the chance for BioWare and publisher EA to start afresh after the controversy surrounding the end of the original trilogy. It was supposed to be a new lease of life for the series, and for years it's been seen by fans as a chance of redemption for BioWare. So what went wrong? When the game was released on EA's Access program, which allows members to play the game for up to 10 hours, or to when they reach a certain point in the story, things started to go wrong. Players quickly noticed the limited character creator during their opening few minutes, followed by their forged creations looking more like an alien race than anything actually resembling a human being. From there, wonky animations, awkward dialogue, and an overall emotionless factor took over. While the original Mass Effect trilogy certainly had its moments, Andromeda and BioWare Montreal have had the advantage of not just 5 years worth of development time, but also the use of one of the most sophisticated engines in video games today, Frostbite. One of EA's prized possessions, so to speak, and capable of those gorgeous graphics that you never stop hearing about whenever a new Battlefield trailer appears. Being alarmed when comparing Mass Effect Andromeda to a Battlefield game is slightly disingenuous, but when Andromeda has the advantage of being on much improved hardware when compared to previous games, it really should look and feel far better and superior than it currently does.
Are you up to the task?
I may not have been the first choice, but I'm ready for this.
Youthful enthusiasm will only get you so far in Andromeda.
That's no way to treat a guest.
It's interesting to note that past animation demos show the game running better when compared to its final state. Which begs the question, was Mass Effect Andromeda rushed out the door by EA? After 5 years, a plague of issues, and a tepid media presence in the lead up to its release, you have to speculate that it might be the case. To further fuel these flames, an alleged ex-employee of BioWare posted an employee review of the company's Montreal office back in July 2016. While it's hard to corroborate these claims, the timing makes it more likely to be believable. The alleged employee stated that BioWare Montreal lost 13 leads during the 5 years that it was developing Mass Effect Andromeda, and that priority was given to BioWare's Edmonton studio, who are currently working on a new IP. While it's hard to corroborate these claims, it's clear that if these claims are true, then it points to Mass Effect Andromeda being released in a rushed state. A few months before this employee posted his review, we should know that 2 senior members of the BioWare Montreal team tasked with creating the new Mass Effect also left their positions. Chris Schleff, I apologise if I've got that wrong, left his position after just 5 months of working on Andromeda, although he did say it was one of the best experiences of his life. The other senior member to leave was Senior Development Director Chris Wynn, who departed just a few months after the game's reveal at E3 2015. Unlike his former compatriot Chris Schleff, again, sorry if I got your name wrong, Wynn did not mention much about BioWare during his departure. All of this has led to a raft of cancelled pre-orders in a game that, when compared to its previous iterations, has been critically panned. IGN gave it a 7.7, Polygon a 7.5, and GameSpot came in with a 6 out of 10. By any normal review method, these scores would be passable, but when you consider that video game review scores are heavily weighted towards 9s and 10s, then anything below that is considered a bit of a failure. You have to wonder if EA had considered this in its own mock reviews. And for those who don't know, publishers will often hire people to review games before they let them anywhere near the press. This allows them to understand and try and control any negative feedback they get when they let reviewers get hold of the game. It's a way for the publisher to control the bad news before it gets out, essentially. And this is bad news that, I'm sure, EA were expecting. What they probably weren't expecting, though, was that the EA Access trial would see the game bandied about social media for all the wrong reasons, and that one of the co-stars of Andromeda, Sarah Ryder, would turn into a GIF generator of awkward faces and troubled body movements. I'm not sure that EA's intention was for all of us to have a good giggle at their games before they came out. Nonetheless, you have to wonder if Andromeda's poor pre-release receptions put its EA Access program under the microscope just a bit, especially seeing as they're still unable to get it onto the more dominant PlayStation 4, losing out on a multitude of subscriptions. But the EA Access dynamic is another video for another day.
Yeah, looks fine so far.
After a potential troubled development, does Mass Effect have a future? Looking at EA's past, it's clear they don't give franchises long to recover from failure. Dead Space, Mirror's Edge, and Medal of Honor are all successful franchises that have either seen long periods out of the limelight or have been outright cancelled. Along with Activision, EA are probably the most ruthless third-party developer when it comes to killing off not just franchises, but also studios. So, is Mass Effect at risk? Right now, it's probably not. Its sales, while not expected to reach the heights of 2 and 3, are still likely to be in the millions and sufficient enough to keep the franchise alive. Mass Effect is also in the enviable position of being a franchise that people deeply care about. Andromeda brought all those feelings of the suicide mission, Mordin's long walk, and the decision to kill off either the Quarians or the Geth all rushing back. The emotion that the 3 Mass Effect games put players through has given it a place in many gamers' hearts. And it's that fervent love from the fans that will keep EA from even considering killing off the series. Many of the original Mass Effect team, including director Casey Hudson, have long since left the franchise, leaving Andromeda to an almost entirely new team. Mass Effect won't end here, and in these tough times for the development team, let's hope they find the strength to look at the criticism and develop a stronger and more fleshed out Mass Effect game next time out.
And welcome to your new home in Andromeda, where the brightest star is you. Current wait time for immigration processing is unknown error.
Right. That was helpful.